Hi. Look what's here. I finally got a couch. All right, you guys already know why we're here. Reading wrap up, but February and March. Okay, you know the deal, we're doing chronological order. Also, when I started thinking about these books, I realized how partial I am, not only to books that I've just read, but how meh books that I've read a little bit further out kind of feel. Does that happen to anybody else? So, the first one I have got to talk to you guys about is Circe. I listened to the audiobook of Circe and then I liked it enough to where I saw it at my used bookstore and I got it there because I had a credit. But the more that I think about it, the more underwhelmed I am by it. It's also a little bit thicker than I was expecting it to be. It's like almost 400 pages. But the gist of it is that it's a Greek retelling. Zeus banishes her to this remote island and she gets a variety of visitors, which ends up turning into this whole thing. She falls in love a few times. It's not awful, but... And then at the end, she did something weird. It's not my favorite. The whole book kind of felt like a pity party for her. And like there were things that were bad that happened to her for sure that she didn't deserve. But I don't know, it just kind of felt like a wine fest in hindsight. So I might return this. I'm a little bit up in the air though. I definitely like Song of Achilles much more than this one. I liked it while I was listening to it, but like I said, in hindsight, eh. Okay, then I read Spy Family 2. This was so cute. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars again. Obsessed. I haven't gotten the 4th one yet. I read the 2nd and the 3rd one in February, but I haven't gotten to pick up the next one. So this one, so cute. Mwah. Same as the first one. However, I did read the 3rd one. I liked it. I liked it a lot less though because there's like this weird subplot with her brother and it just feels a little too much. If you've read it or if you've watched it, let me know if it comes across that way to you. Felt a little bit too much for me. Went a little bit past brother-sisterly love, but you know, maybe I'm reading into it too much. I probably am. It's cute. It's supposed to be cutesy. The brother just felt a little too possessive. You know what I mean? Maybe it'll get less weird. Everything besides that though, it was cute, but so far out of the 3 of them, this is the one that I've liked the least. Still gonna read the next one though. Okay, next, I read One Last Stop by KelsiemKo. I picked this up because I wanted to read a romance in February for obvious reasons, and I read Red, White, and Royal Blue by KelsiemKo and I loved it so much. Like genuinely, I think I rated it 4 stars, but I kind of want to go back and rate it 5 stars just because I had a really good reading experience with it and I still think of it fondly after. This one, I had a pretty good reading experience with and it feels very meh after, which is weird because the setting is in New York and mostly on the subway. I love New York and I love the subway. I crave to be in a city that has public transport that you don't have to drive everywhere to. These 2 girls fall in love on the subway and one of them is from the 70s and she's like stuck in time, stuck on the subway, and she doesn't really remember any of her past and how she got there. And I feel like she described everything really well. Like I felt like I was there when I was reading it, but it still just kind of fell flat to me. I don't know what it is about that, so I might change her other book to 5 stars and bring this one down a star. I think I might have rated this a 3, but 2 feels like too low. I don't know. I guess I should probably be rating these. I'll rate them at the end. Okay, and then next, this is kind of moving into March now. These are like my March reads. So I finished A Certain Hunger. I really liked this book. I am so close to giving it a 5 stars. I just didn't have that, oh my gosh, 5-star feeling by the end of it. But I think it's because it happened in the middle of the book. So you never know, I might go back and change my mind, but this one is anywhere between a 4 and a 5 stars. It was so good. So the synopsis of this one, it doesn't come right out and say it on the back of the book, but I'm pretty sure that everybody knows what this book is about. Just review the cover for a second. So this is about a woman who is a food critic, and she starts killing her boyfriends, ex-boyfriends, and she starts dabbling in preparing dishes that she enjoys in a different way. That's the best way that I can say that. But I liked how cut and dry the writing was. She's absolutely awful, but that's what I was expecting and what I wanted from this book. I really enjoy her internal dialogue. I annotated this book so much. I just did a reading vlog for this, and so you'll see in there kind of how I felt about it every step of the way, but like there's just a lot of writing going on almost every page. All right. Okay, so this is the most recent book that I've read. Jiyoung, born 1982. I loved this book. I gave this book 5 stars. I wrote the longest Goodreads review that I've ever written. Granted, it was like just a few sentences, but that's more effort than I've put in before. So basically, it's this woman, she's living in South Korea. She's a new mom, and she starts exhibiting these very strange symptoms of a psychological illness. And so you get that in the first chapter, and then the rest of the book is basically just her entire life leading up to that. And it was so good because it's not necessarily about that first chapter, but it definitely hooks your interest. And then the entire rest of the book, even though I felt like I was really frustrated with her and scared with her and all of the things that not just comes with being a woman in South Korea, but comes with being a woman in general, there was just a lot of things that I think a lot of people can really relate to. And just the way that it was written was very refreshing. It didn't necessarily feel, I don't know, how should I put this? Like I felt frustrated and irritated with her, but not to the point of getting super emotional about something to where I'm like, oh, I have to put down the book, you know? So this was really good. The way they ended the book, oh my gosh. It's like, of course. And one of the things that I did really appreciate about the book is the way that it described through her whole life kind of how she felt about family and about being a parent, or just her role in the family in general, and just how it changed throughout her life. I feel like was written in a really real way and not like this glamorized or sugar-coated reality. So it was really nice to read this. It's just kind of one of those things where I read it and I took a breath because I was frustrated, but I also felt validated, like, okay, even the small things, yes, I should be frustrated with because they do make a difference. So I know I said I was gonna rate them at the end, but I did give this one 5 stars. So I'm gonna go ahead and rate the rest of them, and then we'll get on to the books that I'm reading currently. So 5 stars, I would give A Certain Hunger. You know, in my reading vlog, I gave it 4.25 stars, but I almost wanna give it 4.5. We're feeling good today. Let's give it 4.5. One Last Stop, I think after I read it, I gave it a 4, either a 3 or a 4. I'm gonna give it a 3. Spy Family 3, I'm gonna give a 3. And Spy Family 2, I'm gonna give a 5. And then Circe, I'm also gonna give a 3. A couple subpar books, and then a couple good books, and then a couple 5 stars. So yeah, I would say overall, February and March, it feels like I read more than this though. Maybe it's because I am currently reading Dance of Thieves on my Kindle. It's by Mary E. Pearson. It's a duology. I will go ahead and put the covers up here. I like it. I like the characters, but it's dragging. If we're being real honest, it is dragging. I want world building. I like the nerdy, all of the little details. And I mean, she is giving details, but not the ones that I want. I want details about the world and how everything is different and cool. And I'm getting a lot of minor everyday details. So maybe this will, I don't know, something will happen. If you've read this, tell me if the second book does that. I'll probably still read it just to finish it. I'm curious to see how you guys have felt about these if you've read them. Also, major, and when I say started, I mean I have read the intro. Empire of Storms, and I haven't started this one yet, but I am tandem reading Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. I'm doing a whole reading vlog about it because I feel like it's just gonna be a whole time. So wish me luck with these. I will definitely have these in the next wrap up for you guys, but that's all I got. If you have any recommendations, let me know because I'm kind of in this little slump. Not necessarily in a reading slump, but as far as I'm not really inspired of what I want to read. I have a ton picked out that I really want to specifically read in the summer, but in the spring, I just don't have anything on my mind right now. I do really want to read The Ones Who Walked Away from Omelas. I'm pretty sure that's a short story though, so that won't take me long to finish. So if you have any recommendations based off of what I've read in these books, please let me know. But yeah, I'll see you later and bye.